researcher needs to know the person's 1 rep max before the experiment, so they can't cause physical harm to the person if they're trying to exceed what they can do because they think, oh, I've taken a pre-workout supplement, oh, I can do more than I can, which could cause injury. The data also needs to be protected because of the confidentiality, like someone's name might be put out there and they don't want to be like embarrassed or just don't want to be associated with what like the research necessarily. They need to keep this private. The equality and impartiality of each participant. So this leads to researcher bias, like if they have a specific, like if they know their participants because say it's a uni lecturer and they use their students to within the research and they like prefer a person over the other, and so they give them the like easier parts of the research or give them a good pre-workout supplement over someone that you don't give anything to because you know that they're going to get the result that you want to happen from the result, the experiment. Say if you did like all these things happen, then ethical training would be required because obviously something's going the wrong way and you need to know how to do an experiment ethically. And say if someone did really harm themselves, then you could be sued, which would lead to fines. And ultimately, if someone done that and it caused a big enough harm, then you could lead to prison sentences because your lack of care when you were running the experiment, because ultimately it's the researcher's responsibility to make sure everything's complying with every single rule in the book. And scenario 4, a study of attitudes to obesity in primary school children during the physical education lessons. So they also need a CRB check and parental consent because they are young children in a primary school and obviously under 18. They need to protect them from social and psychological harm. So the young children are more at risk than adults, therefore more caution needs to be taken when thinking of social and psychological harm because children are more likely to take what people say about them on board and take it to heart, and it can affect them for a very long time after they've into their adulthood. And there needs to be confidentiality of each person because you can't go and post results on what people said about certain children all over the internet for people to look at them, maybe even other children, and make it a joke and cause social harm because they're getting bullied for something. That is where confidentiality and data protection come in because it wouldn't be fair on those children that have volunteered to take part to get consequences out of doing it by getting bullied. So the risk-benefit analysis needs to be happened. So is the risk of a child getting bullied or the psychological damage that you could cause the child if they think, oh, I'm obese, I need to change this, and could lead to, say, in the worst case scenario, could cause them to stop eating and develop an eating disorder. Is that risk less than the benefit of what the experiment is trying to prove or show? So that needs to be taken into consideration before the experiment takes place. And then that's where ethical clearance also comes in because the ethics committees have to make sure that all of these things are thought about before the research can take place.